What's up, everybody? Here, D Amazing, bringing you another review. This time is of Obi-Wan Kenobi, the Attack of the Clones version, aka Bearded Jesus. So let's get started. So, in all honesty, as far as certain SHF figures go with Star Wars stuff, some stuff is literally the same thing with a new head or new accessories, and in this case, that happens to be it. First off, you want to start by saying, and I'm just gonna pop the head off because we're gonna get into that. First and foremost, we get the Ewan McGregor head, where now he has a beard. Honestly, I don't think the likeness is completely there, but yeah, you know, it's there. Let's shine some light on it. I think this head actually captures it a lot better. Let me get some more light on this. But I think this head actually captures it a ton better than the other head. So this is the angry head. And the reason why I'm giving it so much focus is because literally SHF 3D sculpting is literally completely there, or it's not there. So as far as it looking like Ewan McGregor, it doesn't look as good as the initial photos, and I'm being completely honest, but it still does look very good. On the body, it looks very nice. It makes it look like Obi-Wan, but by itself, he literally just looks like a bearded Jesus. So I just want to point that out. And I want to get that out of the way really quickly because as far as the body goes, you pretty much are getting the same as you get with the old Obi-Wan. So what happened is they technically did a color swap here, which is exactly what they did in the movie. He got brighter toned boots with now a red lining. These two basically swap color. So this is a more tannish instead of beige, and this is beige now. So they just did vice versa. As far as the body, this body is actually a bit more bulkier. And it seems to have a bit of extra articulation needed for the character. But just in case you haven't seen a review or you don't know what's going on, I'm going to still show you guys a review. As you can see, you get quite a bit of spread here. And even with the cloak, it still seems to be pretty well jointed that he can flex this hard. As far as ab crunch, it goes this far forward. Goes pretty far back, so it leans directly back. Head pivot because of the hair. Actually, this one's a little different. It's not as good as the other Obi-Wan, but you still get as much articulation. Now, even with this is, you can just remove this easily. You still get plenty of articulation here. Double jointed. There is ankle pivot. Now, with the ankle pivot, I would say you need to be a little careful. You have to pull down a little and then rotate. Because sometimes, right here in this little gap, the foot gets caught. So I just want you to be aware of that. Otherwise, you get tons of articulation on the character. So, you can still do running poses. Need to fix that head, so. But because of the hair, it's a little hindered. So maybe if I rotate it up. Yeah, it looks a little weird. There we go. It looks much better running now. So you can still obtain running poses. Like I said, you want to rotate here at the ankle. Now, one of the really cool things that they finally gave you is that they finally give you, normally with most of the hands, they give you these open circular hands for holding the sabers. Which is cool in most instances, and with this one, you would actually wiggle out the bottom, but I think they actually replaced it for this one. So what happens is now you can actually use these new hands that they give you, which have the opening for the hilt, for the saber. So now you can hold the saber with no issues. You don't have to squeeze it through or slide it through, no anything like that. Because this, you know, this gets to be a pain in the ass after a while. Sliding it up and down, sliding up and down. So yeah, actually comes off very easily, as so. So you get the beam saber to hold at the hilt, and you get this one as well. Now just to make sure, I'm going to try to double check. And it does come out, just in case you want to do the old way. So let's grab a hand for that. I'm going to rotate it in. Let me grab the piece, because this ball joint would not be his Obi-Wan saber without it. And sometimes it gets a little jammed in there, so don't let that discourage you. If you feel like you're going to break it, I would say use the hot water trick or a blow dryer. The pegs are really small, so please be careful with that. Make sure you match it up because the pegs for the saber holding hands turn upward. So please be aware of that. Make sure you don't break your stuff. And now we have Obi-Wan with the saber. And as I was saying before, the thing about it is that they offer you good quality stuff. It's just that it's all pretty much the same now. so you can pick and choose what you want. But for me, I'm pretty much just supporting the line so I can get the things I want. Stuff like General Grievous, Han Solo coming up soon. So I'm really, really excited for those. I want General Grievous. I'm not saying it's out, but the reason why I support the line is because I want them to do it eventually. So as you can see, Obi-Wan looks really cool. He can do some cool poses. And what happens is I'm going to swap this hand out. And now with the new hand that they give you, you can actually not freak out and having to slide it on both hands and things like that. So I'm just going to do that very quickly. Let me actually pull this up a little. And this is where it gets tricky because, like I said, you have to work it in. So now I've done it. So as you can see, Obi-Wan can still get poses and things like that. And I'm not trying to drag this review on, but I just want to really make sure people know, because what happens is, if you miss out on one figure and you don't know what's going on, it doesn't complement another. The hands are universal. These ones are more tan because Obi-Wan is older, but you can still use it on Anakin. So real fast, I mean not Anakin, I'm so sorry. You can still use it on younger Obi-Wan. Apologies. So one thing I want to do real fast before I go is I want to show you a size comparison with a Clone Trooper, the Phase 2 one. So, and Mace Windu. Mace is still much taller. He's a much taller dude. So I think they look really well together. So if you're army building or things like that, Obi-Wan is for you. Like I said, the likeness is not completely there in my opinion, but when you get your hands on it, you may think differently, and that's totally fine. I just don't think it's 100% there. Maybe 85%, sure, but not completely there. In the meantime, if I'm too worried about it, I'll send it over to Monster Mash. But right now, I'm pretty happy with it. So as usual, guys, you know the deal. May your wallets be empty and your hearts be full, and I hope you guys enjoy. Take a look at the photos at the end. Thank you. Later.